fake. There's something sweet about your eyes when you feel safe. But you keep running away. Owe it to yourself to dare. Just try to open up and show someone you care. You might not be intentional, but you seem scared. Just try to open up and let it lead somewhere. Breathe in some love and let yourself unfold. Breathe in some love and let yourself.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, ULTI.TV, the best in the world.
Become a member
and fund our work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
We are Hive Ultimate, a group of players and coaches from all over the world working together to progress the next generation of Ultimate strategy. We've helped top teams win world championships and new teams introduce the sport in a fun and inclusive way. Search for Hive Ultimate on YouTube to learn more about our cutting-edge strategies and to see analysis of world-class teams. To find out what Hive can do for your team, head over to our Patreon page where you can gain access to our exclusive drills and session plans and to join our worldwide community of coaches. Get ahead of the curve with Hive Ultimate.
Enjoying the show? Show your support for the live stream and the people making the show. Buy a super chat or super sticker on YouTube directly. Select your donation and type your message to the world. And share. All donations go into directly funding new shows. Buy a super sticker or super chat now. Thank you.
Real quick sprints, take the disc briskly, sunshine glints off my frisbee crisply, knows how it goes with the sand between our toes. We got both of the pivots and all of the throws. Got to hold the disc and move it at the right time. When you flick your wrist and you're feeling sublime, compose your throws, not discuss fluttery, tricks from the brick and your biscuits buttery. Feel the spirit, stretch every sinew, stream, encourage, yeah, we continue. Take my hand, yeah, come with me, from the disc to the sand, to the beach, to the sea. There's magic in the air. All you have to do is catch it. EBUCC 2022.
Bom dia de Portimão. Welcome to the first of our three finals here at the European Beach Ultimate Club Championships 2022, and we are kicking off in the women's division with Cassalletes of Valencia versus E6 from Gothenburg. A Swedish-Spanish showdown for the ages out here on the sand. Hannah Pendlebury in the booth with Tom Stiles, and we are delighted to bring you this gold medal matchup. Tom, how are you feeling about these two sides?
Well, we haven't had a chance to watch E6 on the stream so far this weekend. So from our commentators' point of view, they are the mystery package. From the viewers' point of view, they are the mystery package. But we've seen Cassalletes already, and they have been sublime on the sand. A specialist beach team built over the last 8 years when there really wasn't a women's scene in Valencia. There were some women playing in the mixed division, but they started this team and they've built. Getting through to the final yesterday was a huge moment for the captain, number 7, Valentina Betancourt. She was in tears, emotional. So it's a huge achievement for them. They've already feel like they've achieved everything they wanted to. Can they go one better now and take down the big Swedish side?
Well, it's fantastic to see such talent coming out of the Murciélagos Ultimate team. The Bats of Valencia, they actually had a second team entered in the women's division back in 2020, just before the pandemic. So fantastic effort from them. They've got a really great development, recruitment focused website if you want to go check that one out. And in their 10th year this season, so lots of celebration there as they get underway with a dance to start things off, almost hacker style. But we haven't seen E6 on the stream yet. But extremely experienced players. They've got an average playing experience amongst them of 20 years. That's the average experience here. The average age is 35, Tom. So we've got the likes of the Lundqvist sisters, some Andersons, some Eliassons, some Hofgaards, of course, E6 having been founded from the merging of 2 former teams, and the name coming from the highway that connects them, the E6.
Wow.
Lesser known facts there, but they of course also appear in mixed as well. They took a gold medal at the UCF in 2018 on grass, and actually took a silver medal at Sandslash and Debki earlier this season. So getting us underway and starting on offense is Cassalletes. They have the advantage to start this one out. Maria Jesus on the far side, who was dominant in the semi-final. Maya Lindroth trying to get her hand on the disc for the defense, but a nice slicing to Hesiod. Low, just a little bit of lack of focus there. The disc tips away from the hands of Nathalie Lamotte, who has a sensational Instagram handle, which we'll tell you about later.
Such an unfortunate drop there. They were in a great position.
Well, we have had some lack of focus. Mine drifts back to the mixed bronze medal match where the French came out a bit flat. Can the Swedish take advantage of that early error? Grandel with the disc. Thinking about the inside shot to Lindroth. Gonna have to go for it, fading to that far side. Lindroth's got the legs to run it down, but not the hands to grasp the disc and claim that first break.
It was in the right area, but she had to throw that disc because there was nothing else coming from E6. It's slightly worrying this early in the game, but she just didn't have any other options.
Well, we did say they are quite the veteran roster, so maybe the many games they've played out here on the pitches having a little bit of an impact, but Cassalletes get a second chance, and the turn is generated on the far side by the bidding form of Sandra Lindqvist, the younger of the 2 sisters.
3 turnovers in the point already.
Nice give and go flow. Bit of a loose positioning underneath, nearly stops the pass to Maya Lindroth, but the former Eurostar collects the goal. And of course, the first season of the Eurostars programme, Tom, had 3 Swedes on it. And they all had numbers in order, 5, 6 and 7.
Very nice. Lindqvist getting the block, Lindroth getting the score. E6 opening their game with a break, exactly what they would have wanted to do. And Cassalletes looking a little nervous, a couple of sort of handling errors there, and they're going to be put under pressure by this E6 side, but the young, energetic Spanish team looked really, really good in their semi. They've got form to dig into.
And they've got plenty of noise coming from the stands in their favour. Of course, they qualified for this event having come second to Guayota at the Women's Beach Championships in Spain earlier this year. That was back in March, so they've had plenty of time to prepare. So we see Sinnott with the disc, popping around. Molly Sinnott of former Riot fame is going to go streaking towards the end zone. Oh, and just a nice little jump to just secure the goal, retains possession. Always hate to see those ones come a cropper if you go for that extra little push to claim the score, but Molly Sinnott does it in style.
Great disc to Sinnott from Betancourt, the captain and inspiration behind this team. She was available on a couple of occasions there, and she's topping the stats for the team as well. Number 7, Valentina Betancourt, look out for her throughout this game.
Yeah, originally from Montevideo in Uruguay, which is a pretty cool place to hail from. She was so pivotal, like an anchor for the offense when Cassalletes needed it in their semi-final, where they absolutely rinsed and repeated against Tequila Boom Boom.
And look out for Jenny Lee for Cassalletes as well, number 15. She's a former rugby player and picked up Ultimate when this team started and has been playing with them. And she was the one running that hacker at the start of the game.
Absolutely, it's easy to spot her because she has a fantastic bright orangey pinky neon visor. So you'll see her there at the break mark, ready to apply. No, not apply the mark. That will be Broccoli, as she's affectionately known, Samantha Zyke. So Hargeby looking around for options. Has to go for the direct backswing pass. Firing through, Cassalletes choosing to put a zone on Lundqvist. As the E6 players start to flood through, Lundqvist again just taking a few steps forward. not working too hard with the legs are E6 right now, just waiting for the opportunities to open up. There's a poach off, exploited. Karo Hageby swings to the side to Anderson. Thinks about the inside shot. No one seems to be attacking it in terms of movement for the end zone. Oh, but there we go. The space opens up on the soft side. And that's a goal for E6.
Absolute laser of a disc. There wasn't much of a gap. She knew she had to get that off quickly. And the assist coming from Harriet Anderson, pinging down into that end zone.
Yeah, really patient stuff from E6. They're not really having to move around the pitch very much, Tom. They're just happy to be static and reserving that energy, which could well be crucial for them. Cassalletes looking a little bit more high energy, high octane. And hopefully they can clean up those areas they had in the first point, as you see a lovely deep pull. Betancourt finds Hesiod. Oh, easy open side work. Fernandez now. Shoots up line. No shots available. Fernandez pops back to Betancourt. This is lovely, just patient working. There's lots of movement upfield in terms of cuts, working the Swedes hard on defense. Oh, lovely lead out in front, and that's going to be a truss ball. There is a defender in the end zone, but there is no attention paid. Maria Hesiod collects the goal.
Hesiod has been absolutely unstoppable this weekend, so quick across the sand. And Cassalletes not doing anything imaginative there, just grinding out those cut after cut after cut into the open space. And eventually E6 just trailing behind into the end zone as they score that one.
Exactly as you said it, Tom. They were just taking the options they were given and the channels, and the little truss ball there over the shoulder of the defender. Perhaps a little bit lacking from the sideline there to alert the trailing legs of Stina Tim.
No turnovers since that opening point. Lola Olivares with the assist down the line, just leading Jezio. I think Jezio is originally from Poland, so I think it's a J rather than an H. It's always difficult with the Spanish J's.
Well, it does not sound much like a Polish name. Does sound distinctly more Spanish. So maybe she's of origin. Originally, her family might be from Spain, which might be where she's returned. We'll have to ask her after this one. But the Swedes on the charge, nice easy layout catch into the sand. Of course, it's such more of a forgiving surface for Maya Aurora Johnson. Hageby looking for options, has the upline cut, chooses the leading pass. That's nice gainer. Anderson now. Lots of defenders near the disc, choosing to go expansive across the board. Annika Lindqvist picks up the goal.
Anderson's vision there, saw the space on the far side, almost no wind. It was really breezy about an hour ago, but no breeze at all, able to just pinpoint that across the end zone like an indoor throw.
Well, we've seen quite a few of the women's teams mention how they've had to adapt, or they haven't adapted to their commiseration in terms of this changeable wind. It's generally supposed to be quite a chilled day, literally. The temperature's about 5 degrees below where it's been for the first 2 days of this championship. And Harriet Anderson, very experienced, started nearly the year of my birth, Tom, in 1992. She's been playing Ultimate almost longer than I've been alive.
Lindqvist with the goal there. Started in 2004 with Skånska. This point you're making about the average experience on E6 is quite phenomenal.
It really is, and there's such a decorated program. Swedish Ultimate, of course, having started in the 1970s with their federation being formed in 1974. But Cassalletes, a team on the rise and currently charging towards their next point. Jezio with the dish back to Zyke. A nice inside through the middle, but it's going to be tippled away by the defender. A foul called on the throw. It's going to be accepted immediately by Sandra, sorry.
Stina Tim getting a good hand block in there. She'll be a bit frustrated. She'll have to put that behind her now.
So the Cassalletes flow continues. Little pop high release backhand to Fernandez. Back to Jezior. Oh, and that's a visionary slicer of a flick into the near corner. And a hold for Cassalletes after the break that went the way of E6. It's just trading this first half out.
Yeah, brilliant clean offense from both these teams. Again, Jezior involved, coming out of the end zone to collect that disc and then seeing the opportunity to punch it in. That was the turnover that got called back. Again, Cassalletes, just patience with the disc. There's Jezior available. Doesn't hesitate. Sends a little fake to open the space. And then pings it across, sliding on the knees for the goal.
Well, after that early misstep, Cassalletes have indeed come out and shown us what they can achieve on offense. Let's see if they can create any mischief on D. Anderson and Eliasson just happy to sit at the back of this as Cassalletes try and put a zone on to confuse this space. Sinnott going for the block. Doesn't quite work out. Nice moving and flowing. This is almost like clockwork for E6, the Gothenburg team. A collision though in the close part of the end zone. A stumble from Ana Fernandez. Hopefully she'll be okay.
They've collapsed to a one-on-one mark now. The Cassalletes zone, it was navigated through pretty easily by E6 there.
You can see on that replay just a bit of not looking quite at the mark, but oh my goodness, what an expansive throw off the paws of Annika Lindqvist. Beautiful.
Lindqvist finding Harriet Anderson free in the end zone, and another one of those almost indoor throws. The wind not a factor here, and E6 taking full advantage of that, spreading it into the end zone. A completely clean game. Since the 3 turnovers in the opening point, Hannah, but this has been the highest quality gold medal match. Brilliant to see in the final of the European Beach Ultimate Club Championships.
Indeed, and we have seen some absolute demolitions out here on the sand in the lead up to this women's final game. Of course, the Swedes having bested their countrywomen to get themselves into this final. They advanced over SUFC Valkyria. We won't spoil the result of the bronze medal match for you in case you weren't quite up as early as we were, but certainly was a fun one to see those two clash in the semis as we see a miss throw around the back of Maria Hezor.
Barraza with the errant throw, unfortunately.
Maya Lindroot and Lindqvist working it at the back. Tim. Back to Lindqvist. Has a little sort of stumble around but manages to stay on her feet. Lindroot was available, poached under. She's going to launch it into the sky, a big pack underneath it, and well kept out by Maria Hezor. She gets the block. But that was fantastic defense from Cassalletes, making a very high stall bailout.
Yeah, Jezior had position on that disc and just marshalled it out, got the position early. 2 turnovers in the point, and Cassalletes with a chance to come down.
So Cassalletes looking to put it all together. Dyke's going to put up a big one, has Hesiod in space, and there's Lamont as well. It's a big pack. Hesiod emerges from it, puts one out, and well snagged by Nat Lamont. The Frenchwoman with the goal for the Valencian side.
Jezior involved both ends of the field, gets the block at one end, throws the assist at the other. The 23 shirt for Cassalletes with her 3rd stat of the game. 2 assists and a goal already for Maria Jezior. And 4-all here, just that one break from E6 at the start. It's a tight matchup here for gold.
Well, if you can expect anything from this match, I imagine we'll be saying the name of Maria Hesiod so many times. She was involved so much during their semi-final here on the live stream, and nothing short of pivotal for Cassalletes in this game. But Nathalie Lamoth there with a huge grab for that goal. And I love her Instagram handle. Nat loves frisbee, wine and cheese. She'd expect from a Parisian. So Hageby looking a little bit lost for options against this Cassalletes zone. A little marking infraction there, gave her an extra 2 points. Jenny Lee, though, hungry for blocks. Maybe she didn't have breakfast. Eliasson looking around, has space available on that big risky swing through this cup or over the top of it.
Seems like they've finally found a way of slowing E6 down here.
But they're so experienced. I imagine holding on to the disc for a little while isn't going to phase them too much.
And there's no wind to help out the zone either. All the throws are easy in this breeze.
Hageby there, though, having to just have a little fall to make sure that she secures her hands around this lovely, fetching, flashing pink frisbee. Fakes the hammer over the top to move the mark of Lola Olivares around. And having seen those Indul-style throws already, you've got to respect the fake. Just taking the disc for a little walk now, gaining a few yards. This is very smart zone. But eventually they puncture through like a spear to Lindqvist. Hageby now swings. Anderson back to Lindqvist, finding the same spot. Oh, and that is a lovely disc, but could it be too far? Oh my goodness, she does the splits. Is that good enough?
There's a risk she might have hurt herself here. She really did the splits, and it's the back of the hamstring she's holding on to. We've got two things to concern ourselves with. Is the player okay? Most importantly, did she straddle the line for the goal?
Well, we have a photographer to our left, Luna. Oh my goodness, there's a freeze frame we won't be able to put on our stream. But later on, I'll tell you what, if that is, we have some definitive media evidence in our booth. We can't show it to you, but later on, check out the photographs from our wonderful photographers here at this Beach Ultimate Club Championships. Let's have a look at our freeze frames that we got on our live cam. That is gorgeous. Oh my word. Kiki Eliasson. She was on that women's team in 2020 that got canned when the World Guts Championships was cancelled. And that is going to be called good for a goal. Kiki Eliasson, you hero.
Unbelievable grab. And I'm not sure we'll see her again this game. She's limping off the field.
Well, I tell you what, I was doing some Googling of these athletes ahead of this game talk, because of course we do plenty of research. And Kiki Eliasson, she's described by her teammates on SE6 as having a brutal fighting spirit and being able to play through anything, through a broken nose, through a twisted ankle. So I wouldn't count her out. But that did look mighty painful.
A real commitment, towing the line. The rules, to clarify for you, the lines obviously aren't taped on the beach, it's a tape. If the toe is under the tape, then you're inbounds. And she was dragging the top of her foot across the top of the sand inbounds and taking the tape with it there, so a good point from Eliasson.
Oh, but that's a lovely disc. Nearly taken away by the Swedes, and the confusion caused, as you saw, Sara Fernandez standing still, ready to come back under. And after that huge, valiant effort from Eliasson, perhaps getting a little under the skin of the Valencian side. Early throw to Lindroth, who is almost built for this surface in terms of her frame. The young architect drew one up nicely, a big one across the end zone, has a little go at it, but doesn't quite have enough vim to make the snag.
Yes, the connection's not quite there for E6, it's maybe rushing a little.
Although playing for yards maybe as the wind picks up, starts to flutter the flags. and make us a bit chillier. Oh, and Lindroot, huge effort to redeem the disc and give E6 another look at this break. Alwyn picks up, fakes the high flick, throws the around. Oh, inside flick, it pinballs off the hands of Stina Tim. And another opportunity missed for the Gothenburg club. High catch from Jesior. Lamoth. This is good stuff moving downfield. A bit of a moment for pause. Zyke. Nice one-handed grab. Cassalletes players moving all over the field, none of them taking but a breath until they have the frisbee. Zyke, though, hanging around the back, just ready and waiting. Opens up the big arm, and there's the break around to the hold for Cassalletes.
Real patience from Cassalletes. They'd looked a little bit flustered and hurried early on in that point, but in the end, the big pivot from Samantha Zyke opens up the space, and a solid pass into Fernandez for the goal. And Fernandez making up for that earlier miscommunication which led to the initial turnover.
Huge effort, Maja Lindroot. We talked about the OG Eurostars, the 3 Swedes that appeared on the 2017 rosters for the Eurostars tour. Lindroot, of course, herself playing in 2019 when the America's Cup came back to Europe.
5-all here in the gold medal match, and both these teams locking horns. There was mistakes in that last point, but it's been the cleanest of games up until now.
Indeed, we've only had 3 points. There have been any turnovers whatsoever, just showing the quality of these two teams, especially on beach.
Zone again from Cassalletes.
Well, it does seem to play quite nicely into the hands of the Swedes. It takes them a little while to find the opportunities, but they do have them. Sinnott just hovering around in the near side. Little dish to Anderson. And they'll happily play plenty of passes. Oh, and that is a visionary find on the far side. So much time for Aurora Johnson to get under it. Now they all suddenly fly into the end zone. Anderson making the space. Oh, and that's going to be good for sure. Maja Aurora Johnson collecting the goal for E6, and that is going to be just shy of half. 6-5 they lead. Of course, up that one break from the very start of this game.
Just shows how much the team benefit. As soon as they managed to get that big disc out, the Swedes able to move. Quick pass, quick pass, quick pass, and they were all in the right place and kept the disc moving. Cassalletes unable to maintain or get back into any sort of pressure situation on defense. There's a solid point in the end.
What I'm really appreciating about this game, Tom, is the fact that we saw Cassalletes on the stream in their semi-final, but Tequila Boom Boom just sort of fell a little bit off the map. And this is really showing the quality of what Cassalletes can do on offense. Rather than just being given the disc, they're really having to try and take opportunities.
Magnificent pull there from E6, right at the back of the end zone.
Jesior attacking nicely with the mark. Oh, the little spin move from Samantha Zyke. We love to see it, gaining so much yards. Look at the separation between the players. Cassalletes continue to just run around. Players clustering around the disc. Nice recovery from Ike.
Great example of the short throws that Cassalletes say epitomises the way they play. They play a lot of 3-on-3, lots of small field action, and it's coming up here, but there's a turnover there.
And just as Sandra Lindqvist just brushes the sand from her body, we'll pick it back up. With a horizontal stack, Lindroot coming under. There's a poach, but well collected on the far side. Anna Salen just hovering on this near side of the field. Lindqvist coming around. Gonna have to turn on the gas to collect that. Again, very static, but that's a lovely find to Grandel. Lindroot sets off towards the end zone. Now coming back under. A little bit of poaching off on the streaks through. Oh, and a hand block to finish off the silencing defense of Cassalletes. The inability of Anna Salen to find any options. She looked a little bit frustrated. Hand Grandel available.
Second block of the game for Maria Jesio. She's had 2 assists and a goal as well. Really putting a shift in here for Cassalletes. You'd level it up here if Zyke can get the disc down there.
A beautiful shot into space, but could that be snaffled by the defense? No, coming through like the hero she is from miles out of nowhere. Fernandez recovering.
Well, that's why you always chase the disc. If the disc is in the air, you run towards it because you never know when it's going to get caught. Both the receiver and the defender getting sucked underneath that. The breeze delivering it to the centre of the end zone for the easy catch. And it's 6 apiece here. We're on Galaxy Point in the gold medal match here at the European Beach Ultimate Club Championships.
Sandra Lindqvist did an excellent job on defense, reading this, going up nice and high, just under it. And if it weren't for the fact that Sara Fernandez had just gone off to the races, left her mark for dust, and just there for the backup. She actually started playing back in 2005 in Stirling, of all places.
Solid ultimate town.
And a solid ultimate home origin. She's from Tenerife in the Canary Islands. And of course, Waiota, who took that first spot in the women's division back in March, are here in their mixed format, and they will be playing in the gold medal match themselves later on today. It's a high one that's going to be taken away. Oh my goodness, no, it's not taken away by the defense. Caro Hargamy, how did she catch that?
That was incredible awareness.
2 defenders on the chase, rising over the top, Annika Lundqvist, and she dishes for the goal. My goodness me, that wasn't necessarily the cleanest, but E6 retain their break up and take half 7-6.
Well, they say the harder you work, the luckier you get, but E6 were lucky on a couple of occasions there, keeping the disc alive, finding themselves with a long disc down on the end zone line and popping it in for the quick score. They take the half, and it will be E6 coming out on offense in the second half. Look at the highlight there.
A little bit of pinball between Hargamy and Blanco, Chippy as she's known, and that was a disc covered in knocks. So we don't really get much of a break for the halftime as we see another look at this, just rising out of the sand. There's a high average height on this Swedish team. The other averages we have is that their average height is 171 centimetres or 5'7", which is pretty tall for female matching players, and an average weight, Tom, of 0.76 tons.
I like that. I'll give my weight in tons from now on as well, like E6's example.
Well, the example that they're setting right now is go out, get one break, and then just play very clean, very efficient, not too much movement offense. Such a difference between the styles here.
Now the wall-to-wall sunshine has broken and the clouds have come in, slightly overcast, but the fans in the stands have put an extra layer on. Still beautiful conditions for Ultimate. Second half underway.
So E6 looking for that big put. They send it out and it's not quite good enough. She thinks about making the bid, but Annika Lindqvist decides just taking the yards as the wind starts indeed to swell. On our camera views from right to left across this pitch.
Anderson perhaps a little ambitious with that throw, or the wrong edge, but it drifted away from the receiver all the way into the sand, and she's now coming back to take up some defensive duties. No one in a hurry to get up to this one as Bettencourt collects.
Well, it is all about adjusting to your opponents, but also the conditions as they swirl and change. Lee looking around, doesn't have much in the way of options. It's a squeaker up line for Bettencourt. A little bit of hesitation, starts to say she wants it on the break side. Finds a teammate. This is lovely flow. Sinnott coming under, reaching high. Ooh, a little bit of bump on the mark, but it's all good fun. Bettencourt goes to knees. Now this is a real opportunity for Cassalletes. Patience in droves, and then the inside shot. We are back on serve. Gently spikes the disc into this golden Portuguese sand.
Wow, what determination. They really had to work hard for that. Cassalletes on a couple of occasions found themselves on stall 6, stall 7, but they managed to break around, move the disc to that far side of the field, and Betancourt, central to that point, she puts in the assist for the goal. And a break to start the second half. Just like ESP started the game with a break, they've traded out the rest of this first half. It really has been tooth and nail all the way through. Who's going to come out on top and take that gold medal?
Well, I bet Annika Lindqvist is regretting not launching herself towards that errant long pass. But the fans are very fond of this beginning of the Cassalletes charge. Can they punch another in?
It's hard to see if either team can establish any sort of momentum in this game. It's just 1 point at a time all the way through the game. No team yet to string together 2 points in a row.
And of course, we've been delighted to have all of our live scorekeepers giving us that graphical image of all the shape of the games in these tournaments as the teams have played their way through to this championship final.
That is Eliasson back on the field with a heavily strapped leg after that thing, exactly as you called it. She'll play through anything, it seems.
She is a machine. That is her nickname. Kiki Eliasson. As the water droplets begin to fall here. Get the umbrella. Maja Lindroth recovering the disc, nearly spanking it into the legs of Carolina Hageby, who opens up a huge disc to Lindroth for the goal, and that is beautiful for E6. So Tom, as the raindrops start to fall on our heads, the first appearance of rain on the beach of Portimão.
This was not in the forecast. We checked again.
No, it was in the forecast.
Was it?
I checked before this game. We were expecting rain around 1 o'clock, and literally, as broadcast, we've got some rain. We're all going to be applying some layers, the players on the sideline. We've got a sun umbrella that I'm not sure is going to be too much help, but it'll do a little bit of business for us. But we will keep, of course, the action with us. Hard-working ULTI.TV crew in any element. We've had rain now, we've had sun, we've had wind, and we've had some fantastic beach ultimate as Cassalletes come out on offense against the match of E6. Lovely upline, Olivares looking around, pinned to that far sideline. Spin moves from Betancourt, cannot get free, squeaking it to Sinnott. Just being pinned to that far sideline still. Fernandez looks for space around, finds it. Olivares. Another press, just squeezing the offense. Betancourt again up line. Sinnott going into the deep space. She has the separation and she has the goal for the hold. All right. Wait, that's a break, is it not?
No,
no.
That is a hold. I'm just a little behind on my scoring because of dealing with the weather.
There we go. I figured it was that. I had a little moment where I doubted myself, but it's indeed a hold. And I tell you what, Kiki Eliasson is already with 1 foot on the line at the other end of the field as we watch the highlights of that dicey point where E6 piled on so much defensive pressure. I mean, they do have a couple of extra pairs of legs, literally 2 pairs, versus the roster of Cassalletes. Of course, minimum squad size here has to be 10 and a maximum of 16, keeping things fair and hopefully as injury-free as possible.
There was a team this morning, the bronze medal match, only had 9 players. That was due to a late pull-out because of COVID. You can understand why they've set this minimum standard in the current climate with people having to pull out last minute. It's important you have enough players.
So Caro Hageby looking all alone. Lindqvist sort of just hovering. Oh, that's going to be a bite. Big fight, but well taken by Susanna Hovgaard. Around the back to Anderson. Flo found Eliasson sitting in the handler space with that taped up leg after her huge catch. And it's going to be a big disc out to space. Is it going to fade in a bad way? No, it's almost perfect. Is that a goal? Yes, it is. The fancy footwork. Harriet Anderson, the veteran.
I thought that was out for days, but she watched it in and somehow knew where the cone was, knew where the corner was, and when the feet went down, they were right in the perfect position for the goal for E6. They take another step. Still, no team able to score 2 points in a row, even though we've had 2 breaks. They were at the start of the game and at the half, so there's not been any momentum. Can either side establish some in this second half?
Oh, I wouldn't mind if this one just ground out to the full stretch. These games played to 13. I'd be delighted to see 25 of these beautiful displays in front of us. Anderson with the huge reception on that disc that was very difficult to bring in. She says she doesn't know if her career highlight has occurred yet. She's been playing for 30 years and she's had some pretty good moments. European Masters gold 2019, and of course that mixed ECBU gold back in 2013. Had the pleasure of playing against the Swedes myself in that tournament and they were dynamite. A high, loose disc over the mark from the hand of Olivares. Working hard in the backspace alongside Betancourt. It's a low one that cannot be redeemed though. Ana Fernandez throws herself at the ground. And this is opportunity for the Swedes. For the first time, will we see 2 points scored in a row, Tom?
It's the chance. E6 have always been threatening, but Cassalletes have worked really hard. Their O-line defense has been very good.
Tim to Lindroot. A little bit of a jog from Grandel. Stina Tim now down the line, has Lindroot with acres of space. She rips apart the defense, and there we have it for the first time. 2 on the bounce, and it's the Swedes who put themselves back in front.
Well, they worked hard for that. It's been coming, but as the rain starts to come from the sky, finally, 2 points in a row and a break to E6 of Sweden. They're within 3 of the gold medal now here on the beach.
And a timeout being called by Cassalletes. They're going to need to find something within themselves to just focus. And as the teams take a little moment of repose, as will we, to grab ourselves a bit more rain gear and perhaps some refreshments. Join us on the other side for more of this second half action in this gold medal match.
We believe mixed is the best for the sport, for the world. That's why we're making a global showcase, starting in Europe, made in Amsterdam. ULTI.TV, ULTILeague.net.
We are Hive Ultimate, a group of players and coaches from all over the world working together to progress the next generation of Ultimate strategy. We've helped top teams win world championships and new teams introduce the sport in a fun and inclusive way. Search for Hive Ultimate on YouTube to learn more about our cutting edge strategies and to see analysis of world-class teams. To find out what Hive can do for your team, head over to our Patreon page where you can gain access to our exclusive drills and session plans and to join our worldwide community of coaches. Get ahead of the curve with Hive Ultimate.
Right now, he's going to have to bid. Just a football!
Huge layout block, unbelievable stuff on the front corner of the end zone.
Maybe just that boost of energy they needed. Huge swing pass and a great grab there from Spear.
Second half of the women's gold medal match. It's the finals day here at the European Beach Ultimate Club Championships 2022. Hannah Pendlebury in the booth this fine Portuguese day with Tom Stiles. The rain has started to fall as the disc falls out of the outstretched palm of Maria Hesior. And another opportunity for the Swedes who've just taken their second break in this game. The first team to score 2 in a row. Lindqvist fires it up that far sideline to Tim. Thinks about the high release, sells the mark, squeezes it to Alvin. who's going to put a racy shot across. Samantha Zajc underneath it, gets the block off the pressure. Maja Lindroth apologises to her teammate, but that was a spicy option.
Yeah, Zajc worked hard to get there and then worked hard to get up, but it wasn't the high percentage pass that they needed. E6 perhaps giving away an opportunity to stretch a lead. Cassalletes with the disc again.
Well, stretching a lead and then holding it was key for E6 in their semi-final against SUFC Valkyria. They won that one in the end, 12-8. But this is hot pressure on the defense. Blanco, Chippy, catching that one under hot pressure. Olivares, that's Fernandez even, the number 70. Lovely reaching one around, well caught by Nat Lamotte. Zajc putting in a shift, going low. Oh, and that's a beautiful shot into the space, but you can see perhaps a little bit of tiredness on the legs of Maria Hesior, who's been such a key anchor in the offense of Cassalletes.
Yeah, you can understand why Zajc thought that was a good option. Hesior's had an absolutely outstanding game, but she looked weary as she made her way towards the end zone and didn't have any extra speed to accelerate towards that disc as it drifted over her head.
So the Swedes are going to put one up to Tina Stim. Oh my goodness. Long legs and experience to know exactly where the disc is going to fall. Fakes Lindroth, fakes the dish 3 times back to Lindqvist. Lindroth opening up the space though, and again the young architect draws the map in the end zone and puts a firm foundation underneath this Swedish lead.
Yeah, good patience, second time of asking from E6, getting the second break of the second half for them, and now they've got this 3-point margin, and they're looking good. Cassalletes tired, and some mistakes creeping into their game. They're going to need to dig deep into the mental reserves. E6 looking confident as they stretch away.
Well, this is the second time we've really seen Cassalletes be challenged in this championship. They had a quarter-final win that they squeaked over Copenhagen Hucks, and they went down early. They had lots of errors in that game, and they surmounted a 3-point comeback to win that one out in Universe. So they're very much capable of digging into those reserves. Although digging under the sand here in Portimão, you can find some interesting objects, I believe. We haven't seen anybody with a metal detector out on the sands yet. So back in action for Cassalletes. They're going to need this one. Sinnott going high and launching it into the end zone. That's going to fade though over the wrong shoulder. Can she make it? Oh my goodness! She gets sand stripped. Huge effort from Cristina Blanco.
Yeah, you know what I'm delighted about is that we don't have to decide whether she was in or out, because that is the closest thing you've ever seen. Look at that. Landing on the line, but just not quite containing it. Was she in? Was she out? I'm glad we don't need to make a decision.
Well,
we don't ever need to make a decision. We just tell them what the decisions are.
Huge effort off of Blanco. The overshot from Molly Sinnott, the American, who has played in many different parts of the world and captained her Listria's Tools to the first ever Division 1 National Championships way back when she was a student. But luck be a lady tonight, and at the moment it's favouring E6. That was very strange. There's going to be a bit of a call on the field.
Yeah, Jenny Lee furious with herself. The disc just flew past her. I don't know if she thought she didn't need to defend it because it was a miscued throw, but it landed with Swedish fingers around it.
Well, Lee originally from the UK herself, home city of London, but now living in Valencia, which of course is a wonderful part of the world where the Turia River meets the Mediterranean Sea. Oh, that's a big shot into the space, the pack underneath it. Sinnott redeeming herself off that overshot to the end zone.
That's exactly what you want to do if you have made a mistake, is you want to go back down there and get the block, and Molly Sinnott doing exactly what Cassalletes needed. They've still got the full length of the field to go. The breeze has died away, the rain has stopped, but it is still quite chilly out here on the sand in Portimão.
You're telling me, Tom, I'm just wearing shorts. You're in jeans.
Wet jeans.
That's true. They start to lose their heat resilience when they become damp, but there's nothing damp about this Cassalletes offense that is now starting to really race towards the end zone. Slight miscue again from Sinnott, but Lee has the adjustment in hand. Betancourt now looking around for options, dishes over the top, and that is just squeaked in. And a little dish spike at the end. Cristina Blanco on second asking reels in the goal for the Valencian side.
Well, you could see the position of Harriet Anderson on the defense there was really interesting. She saw the threat go deep, so she stepped off the handler and took away that deep option. But as a result, the swing pass to the other side of the field is just wide open and far too easy for the handler to find that shot.
Well, it took a while for Betancourt. So you see this replay, sort of, you know, stall count starting to rise up, and that dish across, the loose mark on the force, really allowing her to put that over the top, because of course if the tall Swedish unit had been closer to her in front, I doubt she would have been able to expand and extend that pass. So a hold for Cassalletes at long last. They put another one on the board, score now 11-9 to the Swedes.
And this is the point that Cassalletes need to really do something on defense. They've struggled to slow down E6. They've tried zones, they've tried one-on-one. What can they do here?
Well, it might be a secret bit of something from the crowd that's now generating a lot of energy to try and help the defense. Eliasson on that injured leg. She wobbled her way towards the end zone line, but has no issues on the field. Maya Lindrup being asked a lot of, but she's going to rise and ascend, and a little bit of pressure. Hesiod.
Perhaps too much pressure from Jazia there. There was contact. See what Lindrup's suggesting. There was a push in the back as we watch the replay here. Way too much air underneath that disc. Chance for Jazia to get there.
On the butt there, a little bit too much contact on the backside of Lindrup. I think as she came through, it's a fair fight on those sort of, you know, sitting, hanging discs. But it looked like Lindrup did have control potentially. But it's going to be retracted. So Maria Hesiod involves herself once again on this pitch, and this time it's to get the disc back for her team and see if they can grind that first break back. But of course, one of the wonderful things about this sport is the ability for the players to self-officiate and have those discussions in a calm and reasoned manner at this elite level.
That's the most impressive thing, isn't it? It could have been very easy for both players to just dig their heels in, but no, it was well done to Lindrup for withdrawing the call.
Oh, Eliasson throwing herself around all over the mark. There's going to be a foul call from Lee to Lindqvist.
Lee feeling that her path to the disc was blocked. Lindqvist disagreeing. That's another... Oh.
Well, the disc thrown from Sinnott was quite far out into the space. Lee is a rapid athlete. We see these discussions. We'll get another look at it. But look at the dynamic mark from Eliasson.
Oh, you can see Lee's point. Whether she was going to make it to the disc, I don't know, but you can also see Lindqvist had maybe already started to consider that disc dead and cut towards the end zone and maybe block Lee's path even further. Difficult call.
Well, we're very fortunate up in our commentary perch that we don't have to make these calls. We just allow the players in the field to resolve them, and it's nice to see asking for other opinions away from the disc, who perhaps got a better view of what occurred. So a contested foul, and the disc is going to go back to Sinnott, who was a Ultimate Peace volunteer, which is a program that we absolutely love.
This point's gone on for quite a long time. The time cap has gone.
So Sinnott around, being redeemed by Betancourt, who slides to the knees. To see how much Cassalletes really want this one. They're going to need to do it. Hageby, though, generates the pressure. The captain, Betancourt, falls short, being asked to reel that one in. So close to the sideline.
You can see the frustration from Betancourt not connecting with that disc, but no doubt where the turn came from, the determination of Caro Hagaby.
Kiki Eliasson sits in that around pivot. Going to have a little chat with Molly Sinnott. And a little bit of a discussion about checking the disc back in. Of course, we do love the USAU quirks. The amount of gratuitous ground checks, because in the USAU rule set, it's very different. We almost had a bit of a little fun game going on with commentators at the World Championships back in Cincinnati about the level of ground tapping.
Apologies coming from Molly Sinnott there, after she's, I think the rules just clarified for her by Zyke.
Yes, that's the USA set, very different from the WFDF set. Sitting in that pivot for a really long time, just going to have to huck it and hope. Underneath it, Samantha Van Eyck. Not Van Eyck, Samantha Zwijk, sorry. Swipes the disc out of the air. Going for that Dutch pronunciation, making me come completely unstuck. Sinnott now has Lee with lots of space underneath. Zwijk going up that line, Betancourt around. Plenty of space given. Hesiod into Zwijk. Giving and going. Betancourt looking at the options. Doesn't even need to get up. She's happy to throw from her knees, apparently. Zwijk across to Hesiod, and it's the one-footed grab, the break back, and the crowd celebrates alongside Cassalletes.
Brilliant play from Cassalletes. They looked like they were stuck on this sideline. E6 preventing cuts, but they calmly moved it onto that break side, created the space, and then went back to the break side again and pushing it in. And Jezia again, a huge game for the number 23, second goal of the game. She's had 4 blocks as well as 2 assists. Brilliant performance. And that's a break back to Cassalletes. And it's going to be game to 12 here for the gold medal in the women's division.
Samantha Zwijk was absolutely pivotal as well in that point, getting the disc back and being just a cog in the machine of that charging offense. So we could well have a universe point finish on our hands as we see Jen Lee there passing the disc across to her teammate nicknamed as Broccoli, and apparently good friends with one of our commentary chums.
Yes, shared a room. They were roommates for 4 years. Katie Killebrew was WFDF commentator at the in Cincinnati with us. Zwijk with the disc for Cassalletes. The crowd behind them as they come down here. They must break here to stay in the game. E6 with a chance to take the gold.
And the crowd getting involved, cheering. The not quite home side as the overshot. Maya Lindroot can't do anything but look in dismay. Sinnott causing a bit of pressure, but that was a rare error in execution for E6. Is the tiredness starting to become a factor for this very experienced squad?
No doubt whose side the crowd are on. They cheered that disc as it flew out of bounds. Cassalletes with a chance now.
A huge break across from Zwijk. Lee now. Another dish over the top. Sinnott underneath it. Both hands. Easy goal. And we are in universe for this gold medal match.
The women's division delivers the action in front of the crowd. The rain has gone away. And we are at 11 each. It's game to 12. And the gold hangs in the balance. E6 are going to start with the disc as they call a timeout, but they don't have any momentum anymore. A goal and 2 breaks to Cassalletes. They've rallied right at the moment when they needed to.
Well, we do have a timeout to take a break with the players on the field. Although I think we're going to stay and watch some of the replays of this match. Oh my goodness, the expansion of the range and the discs of Cassalletes these past few points. It's really all been about using the break side and opening up that space as we see the huddle of this Valencian side.
Well, when they get back to the hotel tonight, Jenny Lee needs to buy a drink for Molly Sinnott. That was not a good option into the end zone. Too much float, but Sinnott occupying the space, bringing it in for the goal, and they'll be delighted with this position that they're in now. And if you're enjoying the coverage here on ULTI.TV, don't forget you can support all the work that the amazing team do directly on YouTube by buying a super sticker. Or you can go to patreon.com and for the price of a cup of coffee each month, really help grow the sport of Ultimate around the world. We appreciate all of the patrons that have supported this project already. And join up, and even more coverage will be coming your way in 2023.
So EBUCC, the women's final, the gold medal match, E6 coming out on offense. They got their first break of this game. Can they punch this one in? Anderson with a huge shot to the end zone. Lindqvist underneath it. She didn't make the bid before, doesn't need to this time. Her teammates surrounding her, coming through for the gold. It's Susanna Hovgaard, and E6 are your women's division champions.
Gold to Sweden, a brilliant bit of individual brilliance. That deep shot down the field and a strike to catch it, and the softest of passes into the end zone. The Swedes have looked on top all the way through, and they've survived this incredible run by Cassalletes. The Spanish came at them hard at the end, but they couldn't take it away, and the gold medals return to Gothenburg. Brilliant performance from E6.
Well, the Valencian side had a 3-point run in their quarter-final to best the Danes and advanced into this championship bracket, but they couldn't quite make it a 4-pointer to finish this off and snag a gold. It'll be a fantastic silver to add to their collection, having qualified with the second place into this championship. Of course, second to Guayota, who we'll see in a couple of minutes time. But what a way to finish it, that final pass, Annika Lindqvist running it down, and what a glorious finish. So many experienced players, and you can see exactly what this means to the Gothenburg team.
Yeah, brilliant performance. Thank you very much for watching. It's been absolutely fabulous.
It certainly has, and we have 2 more gold medal matches. Will they be just as scintillating as this one? I hope so. Next up, we'll have the mixed final. It's going to be Yogo Benito versus Guayota from Tenerife. I've been a Hannah Pendlebury for Tom Stiles, for all of our players out here celebrating their excellent swag on the field. Stay tuned, and we'll see you on the other side.
Please put your hands together for the gold medal winners in the women's division. It's E6 from Gothenburg. And put your hands together for our runners-up from Valencia in Spain, Cassalletes.
We believe mixed is the best for the sport, for the world. That's why we're making a global showcase, starting in Europe, made in Amsterdam. ULTI.TV, ULTIleague.net.
ULTI.TV, lyrical.
Merci beaucoup.
ULTI.TV. There's something juvenile about your pretty face, but it seems so hard for you to know when you need space. I hope you find your peace and that you get a pace with yourself.